Hello and welcome to this Monster Hunter Wilds beta benchmark tool. We're gonna be using the benchmark tool, but also this Riva Tuner overlay where I have the GPU percentage use, GPU temperature, GPU power, GPU fan RPM, GPU VRAM used in total and by the program. This is an MSI Supreme RTX 4070 Ti. We have 32 gigs of RAM. Currently it's using 21 gigs and 8 gigs for the game. I'm also using OBS, which also consumes some RAM and VRAM. The CPU is the Intel 13th Gen i7 13700 KF. And here I have the performance for each core and each thread, core 1, thread 1 and 2, and so on. Then we have the FPS in real time, FPS average, 1% and 0.1% low, and the frame time number and the graph below. And the FPS average I can reset for every benchmark. So here I have set this to custom because even if I select Ultra, it will not apply the highest settings to everything. So first we are going to try the real performance without DLSS, no upscaling, and also without ray tracing. So we have render scaling 100, texture quality highest, so as you can see we have the highest settings possible. And here you see our resolution is 4K. I'm gonna disable HDR because I don't like HDR in a non-OLED monitor. Low latency also disabled. We don't want to mess this up to get less FPS. So that's it. Those are the most intensive settings you can apply to the game, and not being reduced or increased by any additional situational settings like DLSS or the NVIDIA Reflex. So yeah, take into account this performance is being reduced quite strongly by the fact that I'm using OBS to record, and I am recording with high quality settings. I mean, we're using 29 gigs of RAM right now, and the GPU VRAM is over 11 gigabytes. And there is a noticeable stuttering, you can see from this graph.
We're still too far away! Hold on, what's that?
That's alright.
Can you reach it?
I have to try.
I'm coming too!
And the mouse is lagging. So yeah, we don't need to do the whole benchmark. Let's try other settings. Let's try now with DLSS. Frame generation is disabled in this tool because it would cause the game to crash in the beta. And let's just see what settings we have. This one is interesting. Let's try this one. This one seems to be the highest quality setting.
Okay. As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started. This is gonna be great!
You bet.
Well, clearly this setting did not help much. I guess it is a bit more stable. And the FPS is slightly higher. I just had a big lag or stutter.
There's so many.
Another stutter. Still not good enough. Let's just go to Ultra Performance. And this is also disabled. It's only enabled for AMD FSR, but my GPU is not AMD, so it doesn't make much sense to use it. Yeah, and there's no Unreal Engine TSR because this is not an Unreal Engine game. So let's try this. Ultra Performance. DLSS.
Okay. As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up
No,
and ready
this
to
is
go.
looking much better.
And then we can get started.
We have the maximum, absolute maximum settings, and we're running over 60 FPS, and the mouse is fluid, and I'm not seeing stutters. And the resolution,
There's so many.
it doesn't look so good.
They're exceptionally agitated. Could they be
And
chasing
sometimes it looks good.
It's a person.
I think it's not bad. Sometimes it like disables anti-aliasing and it looks pixelated. It's like constantly fluctuating.
That's all right.
Can you reach it?
I have to try.
I'm coming too.
That was a possible jump. Like, did we jump like 50 meters? So this would be more like actual gameplay performance. I'm not seeing stutters. Take into account without OBS recording, this would be like 20 FPS more probably. Okay, now let's go for the lowest settings, which is the real benchmark. So let's disable DLSS and just completely disable everything. Okay, textures, in reality I would keep high textures, but this is just a test. And we're just gonna go for the lowest of the lowest. We're just gonna see what the game is prepared to perform. Because these new games, even if you have the lowest settings are still super high. They look great, but the performance is not great. Now let's do a final check of these menus. I don't like them with these tabs. It should be just scroll down. Shall we try this? I mean, this is like some sort of cheat, but this is also gonna reduce the load, so let's go for it. This does not go below low, medium. I mean, we have the absolute lowest settings now. Why is this in a different window? This is also annoying. Still, we will keep the 4K resolution. We could change it to ultra wide though. But let's do that test later. HDR disabled and NVIDIA Reflex also disabled. Fingers crossed, let's hopefully get more than 144. Probably not gonna happen, but let's see. What is this? It's the same, man, it's the same. Just 60 FPS with the absolute lowest settings in 4K. Look at her face, man, like, what is that? Holy crap, the textures are so low. Textures don't even really affect performance, so you can keep that high, but this is just in case anyone has any doubt that the textures would be affecting the performance. You can see we have like crap textures, that's not improving anything. Yeah, without OBS this would be like 85 FPS. Completely unacceptable for the brute force that we have with a 4070 Ti. This is unbelievable, but the new games need to use AI and DLSS stuff to be playable. Come on. Wow. They promised they had improved the performance a lot, and this is bullshit, complete bullshit. It's exactly the same as before. I mean, at least there are no stutters. You can see the graph for the frame time is quite stable. So, in the actual gameplay scenes, we would have less than 60 FPS if we were streaming. Without OBS, it would be like 70 FPS. This looks like shit. This does not look like 4K. Okay, can I look at this? Let's get out of here. Now, just for science, let's try DLSS. Ultra performance. This should give us the absolute highest FPS. If this is not above 100, I'm not gonna play this game.
As soon as we find a good
Barely
spot, we can get things set up
120.
and ready to go. And then we can get started. This is gonna be great.
You bet.
100.
I hope we find them soon.
Look!
Time to part!
Aye!
There's so many.
They're exceptionally agitated. Could they be chasing something?
I mean, this would finally be almost playable.
It's a person!
For me, it needs to be at least 140 FPS. 144. Yeah.
Bring us closer!
And crash right into them!
We're still too far away. What do we do? Hold on. What's that?
That's alright.
I just reset the stats.
Have to
The
try.
1% and 0.1% loss on the average. Oh no, oh no, we're below 100. This is unbelievable. Actual gameplay footage, and we're at 80. Okay, without OBS it would be 100. But this sucks, this really sucks. This is completely unacceptable. We have the absolute lowest settings and this AI DLSS at max performance. Come on. This is not what you call optimizing a game for performance. This is meant to be played on a PlayStation, which has way less performance, even on mobile consoles. I don't know how this is gonna run on a mobile console. This PC is an absolute beast, and it's not even making 75 FPS while recording with OBS. Okay, now let's try what I would call my optimized settings. See if we can adjust the FOV. I think there was an FOV setting somewhere, some distance setting. Let's go ultra wide. There's no full screen mode, which could maybe increase performance. Jeez, these menu settings are confusing. Ultra performance, come on. I mean, we didn't even try ray tracing, it doesn't even make sense to try it, okay? I would go some filtering. Okay, I need high textures and high meshes and shit. Here I would go like, there's no difference in these previews, so let's just go low. I mean, the foliage is just increasing, let's go medium. Of course the trees need to move. Wind simulation, I'm not gonna see the wind, so yeah, okay. This wind sway, it's still gonna be shit. Surface quality. I mean, yes, I need realistic textures, and this simulated volume for the ground, this is really important. This as well. This gives me immersion. Fluid effects, I mean, what do you mean? Of course water needs to look like a fluid. Render distance for a competitive gamer needs to be highest. Shadows, I mean, this looks crazy nice, but let's just go low, okay? Let's just go low. Okay, let's keep that low as well. Ambient lighting, okay, let's keep that low. So this is very GPU and VRAM intensive. I like these indicators. Contact shadows, I mean, this looks like shit, so let's just enable this. I mean, we need some sort of ambient occlusion, do we? Don't we? I mean, yeah, this doesn't look realistic. Let's go medium. Bloom, I mean, this sun needs to look like a real sun. Motion blur off. Okay, this also needs to be on, like, come on, what is this? This doesn't look like water anymore. This we can keep off. This should be off. This we can keep off. And I don't know if this was doing anything, so let's just turn it off. I don't want to reduce the quality. Here it is, these settings. I mean, somehow it's not letting me change it. The zoom could reduce performance, but talking about pixels on the screen, it's not really gonna change the amount of pixels, the fact that there's more or less zoom. But still I cannot change it, so that's all we can do. 4K, I'm not going below 4K. I'm a graphic addict and I need this high resolution on my 28-inch screen. I cannot play in 2K resolution, it looks like absolute shit. And if you think 1080p looks like great on a 27-inch screen, you really need to try a 4K screen. You can skip 1440p, it's shit on a 27-inch screen. It's good for a 24-inch screen, but 27 and higher it's shit. But anyway, this is my settings. I don't even know if I would go ultra performance. Let's just go performance. This is how I would play the game. And I would like to stream it, so I would like to see the performance. Okay, so 90 FPS, so that's not a streamable game. I would definitely need to close OBS to play this game. 70 FPS, wow, look at these textures, man. These textures are nice now. Doesn't make any sense to play in 4K with low resolution textures. It's absurd, because you're not actually seeing the potential you could see. I mean, I guess this game will be playable with these settings, which are really nice. GPU is at maximum 100 watts. It's using 8 gigs of VRAM for the game, 8.5. Almost 10 gigabytes of RAM for the game being used, plus Windows, plus OBS. 116, 120 watts being used by the CPU.
That's all right.
You can see the CPU cores are not reaching 90%. This core is reaching the highest at 85%. Core 5. Oh, let's reset the FPS stats. Frame and graph is quite stable. I'm not seeing stutters, so this DLSS is working fine. So yeah, we're not running now in 4K. This is like effectively 3K resolution, as we're reducing like 25% of the pixels from the screen. So this is really helping the game to run with higher FPS. And yeah, here we're at 75 FPS. Not great, but again, if I don't stream this, this would be around 190 FPS, which, yeah, it's really not great, but playable. It's playable, yeah. Around 100 FPS is playable. Not ideal, but playable. 60 FPS is not playable anymore. Once your eyes have been adjusted to 140 44 FPS and more, with the same hertz on your monitor, of course, 144 hertz or 240 hertz or higher, you really cannot go back to 60 hertz FPS. It hurts your brain and your eyes. Okay, so now let's run this benchmark until the end, and I will use this opportunity to mention the other thing I don't like about this game, which is the controls. I don't like to use the controller. I'm a mouse and keyboard guy, and I find it great that this new release has like a mode that is suited for playing with mouse and keyboard. But what I don't like is that the game is forcing you to switch between two modes all the time. This focus mode and the normal mode. And yeah, the normal mode is designed for like a console mode, and the focus mode is designed like a shooter, first-person shooter. So yeah, this is really annoying because I would like to just use one mode. Having to switch between both is extremely annoying. Like, it's mentally taxing because first of all, some things are available in one mode and they're not available in the other one. You cannot run in the focus mode. This is stupid. You cannot use some objects, some tools and potions and shit in the focus mode. Well, the potions, yes, but not these traps and shit. And yeah, why do you have to switch between two modes? Like, what I think would be the good solution is to just maybe let you change a setting that's like controller mode with the classic controller behavior, where if you walk backwards, the character turns around and walks facing the screen. And then there should be an option for mouse and keyboard mode, where if you press the S key to go backwards, the character walks backwards instead of turning around. And okay, you cannot sprint when going backwards, but you should be able to sprint when going forwards and just turn the camera. And yeah, you don't need to see behind you. You can just quickly flick the mouse around like you do in shooters, you know. So you can do 360s really quickly because you have a mouse and a big mat. So there is no technical reason why you would have to have the console movement with mouse and keyboard. So yeah, this would make the game way more enjoyable for me. And also the abilities, like for example with the glaive, this insect glaive, when you're jumping around in the air, some part of the combos are redirected towards the camera, which is great for mouse and keyboard, and some other jumps are directed towards where the character is facing, which is completely stupid. It's mixing up two different aiming systems, so this should be fixed, and the same with every other ability. So yeah, the game thinks this is excellent with 83 FPS. This is not excellent, this is absolute shit. And as you can see, I was not lying, these are my specs. And this is what we have, guys. For me, this is not good. I'm not happy, and yeah, we'll probably not play this game, but I hope some people are happy with these, and but I do hope they improve the FPS performance and that they improve the mouse and keyboard controls and also the controls for the controller, because yeah, I know some friends who used to play this game with controller, now they have had to switch to mouse and keyboard because of the focus mode, because they cannot really aim with a controller without auto aim. So yeah, there should be separate modes. But yep, I have no influence on this. Maybe if we get 1 million likes, if this gets viral and my feedback gets shared to important people, maybe we could make a change, but it's probably not gonna happen because most of you, or yeah, in general, people are NPCs and they think whatever is being done is good and perfect and is the perfect solution. And who am I, one single person who was not even involved and not a professional in this, who am I to have an opinion about this and to think that my opinion is better? Yes, if you are that kind of guy, you don't need to comment. I already know how you think, but I would really like to have comments from people who agree with me. And yeah, make some pressure to the game industry to improve. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.